Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports and the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Zihir Basho. Watch the game live in our past episodes on demand on the Pilipinas Live app. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. The UAAP women's basketball has a new champion as the UST Growling Tigresses dethrone the NU Lady Bulldogs in an intense Game 3 of the finals. After 17 long years, the gold medals are back to the Growling Tigresses as they put a stop to the Lady Bulldogs dynasty. It was not a straight line to get the chip, as Christine Cayabyab led NU with 18 big points, stretching the Bulldogs' lead to a peak of 15. However, once the fourth quarter rolled around, the Tigresses went on a shooting onslaught thanks to a timely three-pointers and free throws by veteran Tantoy Ferrer. UST's go-to girl Ken Pastrana also made a big-time play, tying the ball game at 69 with less than 1 minute remaining. After a scramble on the side of NU, UST breaks away with a title-winning layup courtesy of Nikki Villasin, who was playing her final game as a Tigress. And after posting a double-double of 19 points and 14 rebounds in game number 3, Reynalyn Tantoy Ferrer took home the finals MVP trophy.
Yung year na may papuntang finals, sobrang hirap talaga kasi parang ang hirap ng pinagdaanan natin. So, syempre, ang daming magagaling na team dyan parang yun sinasabi sa amin ni coach na paulit-ulit na huwag namin i-underestimate yung mga team kasi nga kahit sino dyan, kayang talunin yung kami and of course yung NU yun nga. Kasi syempre lahat na kasi ng school may mga import na so parang ang laking challenge sa amin sabi niya. Kaya sobrang hirap talagang nanalo ka ng first game, second game natalo kami parang yung second game kasi ang dami namin nararamdaman talagang pumasok kami doon, naglaro kami ng second game na yun nga nilalagnat ako. Yung mga teammates ko may mga sipon pero syempre parang hindi mo pwedeng gawing excuse yun basta you step on the court, alam mong kaya mong maglaro kaya parang sin-aside muna namin nararamdaman namin, naglaro kami pero alam mo naman, may mga mistake din kami and hindi kami nakapag-adjust sa nilaro ng NU yun, natalo kami ng second game. Then pagbalik ng dugout, syempre lugmok kaming lahat parang yung sinasabi ko sa kanila na isipin namin, manood kami ng games namin against NU kung ano ba yung mga mali namin nagawa, ano ba yung mga mistakes namin and yung hindi namin na-adjust agad. Yun nga, ito yung comeback season ko. Galing ACL, hindi ako kasi nakapaglaro ng last 5-on-5. Sa bench lang ako, chini-cheer lang yung mga teammates ko. Parang grateful ako na sa wakas, naglaro ako sa 5-on-5 galing ACL. Ang laking tulong sa team na nakapaglaro kasi may Ken Pastrana and then bumalik ako parang ang grateful namin kasi alam mo nakakapag-contribute kami sa team and of course kila coach. Ang laking tulong na every game na nanalo kami. Syempre may mga talo rin naman pero alam mo yun yung way namin na para ma-motivate pa para umangat and then makapasok sa finals.
And after the break, we'll shift to the fast-approaching semifinals of the heart of volleyball. Stay tuned. You're watching the game.
back to the game. I'm Paulo Del Rosario. After 3 months of intense competition, 4 teams remain standing to battle it out at the semifinals. Now here to give us a preview of the semifinals happening tomorrow is volleyball analyst Mela Tunay with Z Hervasio on the big screen. Z, take it away.
Thanks, Paolo. Hello, Tita Mels, and good evening. Ayan, are we excited to break down the semifinal
Well, we are,
matchups?
especially if we have this big screen, di ba?
Yes.
Feel na feel talaga natin yung pagtuturo ng mga stats natin dito.
All right, let's get to it. For the first part, let's compare and contrast the team and their performances so far. Ayan, makikita natin maghaharap ang Cherry Tigo Crossovers and our Creamline Cool Smashers.
Well, this is actually an interesting matchup, no? Kasi at first, especially when Cherry was peaking,
Right.
we thought na hindi sila magkakaharap for the semifinals. At some point, we thought Cherry was really gonna secure the 3rd spot, but then they had back-to-back losses against the Ribisco teams, and now they landed at 4th. Kaya naman, mas mahirap yung makakalaban nila, especially napaka-recent lang din ng kanilang last match.
Right.
I think that was just last week. It was really highly anticipated match and very demoralizing loss yun for the Cherry Tigo Crossovers dahil the Cool Smashers, they really did a good job containing the mother, Ea Laure. And unfortunately for Cherry Tigo, sabi nga ng mga fans nila, no one stepmothered while Ea was
Gotcha.
really not as efficient as herself. Kasi it happened during their F2 match. Late na siya nagising during the 4th set. But, you know, Cold Smashers really secured na they won't let the top scorer of Cherry Tigo wake up in that game. And so, they really played to their advantage. And makikita naman natin dito, spiking really is the advantage of Creamline, especially with Kyle
Definitely.
Negrito really utilizing her spikers well. And I think napakalaking bagay na na-activate niya rin yung gitna doon, which I think doon din nag-lack itong Cherry in that game. I mean,
Definitely.
Ponggay and Karandang, they tried, but they did not stay at par with the level of play of Panaga and Co.
All right, as you mentioned, wala nga nag-stepmother. Who do you think needs to step up to support Ea Laure in this matchup soon?
Well, for me, it's stepmother Mama P.
Okay,
Because,
okay.
you know, they won set number 2 in that last match against Creamline, and the results were good. So I think if she's consistently given the opportunity to play, I mean, she is one of the veteran players, diba, for the Cherry Tigo Crossovers, also one of their top scorers. So I think yung opportunity lang for her to, you know, help out itong si Ea, it will be a big thing for them in the semis.
Okay, interesting numbers right here on your screens. In terms of digging, 9th itong Creamline Cool Smashers. Can you explain how this whole thing works? Because I remember before, bababa talaga yung digging mo kung yung blocking mo mataas.
mas
But
mataas.
so far, how is this related to all the other skill departments?
Well, actually, yung Creamline kasi ngayon, let's compare them to the likes of the Next Led Chameleons. I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
they're at the bottom of the rankings, diba? Pero yung mga individual players nila, they're at the top of the skill department. Meanwhile, for Creamline, as a team, they are on top, but in the other departments, hindi mo sila makikita. Yung parang dati, when Gia was here, when Celine was here, na
Gotcha.
almost all the scoring departments and even the non-scoring, nandun sila sa 1 to 3 lang eh. But now, napupunta sila sa 9th, but it doesn't really affect the result kasi they really work better as a team now. So parang they
Correct.
compensate
Exactly.
for whatever they lost in, in Gia and Ced.
Definitely, parang so far, it's really the system of Creamline that's been working really well despite the key losses to their team. All right, let's move over to the next matchup. We got Signal HD Spikers and the Chocomucho Flying Titans.
Well, this is for me is interesting as well kasi when
Yeah.
we look back at the Invitational Conference, sabi ko nga, yung Chocomucho, yun yung sunod-sunod yung 5-setter games nila. And
Right.
yung game na magpapasok sa kanila sa semis, it was against Signal. Pero, you know, the HD Spikers really crushed them in that game. So, when they faced each other this conference, it was Chocomucho who really stepped up. I think that was a straight set game and everyone really stepped up for the Flying Titans. So, itong second matchup nila this conference, for me, will be really a test. Kasi may history na din tong
Right,
dalawa eh.
exactly.
Laging sila yung battle for bronze, di
Parang
ba?
kontrapelo,
yes.
match na match talaga.
So
Alright.
parang this conference nakabawi na si Chocomucho. It's a matter of being consistent kung kaya ba nilang pumangalawa na pagkapanalo dito sa Signal HD Spikers. But look at the difference dito sa kanilang mga scoring skills. I mean, Choco mucho overpowering itong Signal in terms of spiking. It's big, knowing na nandyan sila Vanny Gandler and reigning MVP Ces Molina na we know could really produce the points. But number 2, si Choco mucho dyan, of course, with the likes of CC and the other spikers as well, like sila Madayag, ang taas din ng efficiency ngayon. So blocking should be yung strength ng Signal over Choco mucho. But in their last matchup, all these departments na outnumber ng Choco mucho itong Signal.
All right, a very interesting matchup, but let's zoom in on the X factors, yung mga players that we need to look out for. We got first Mylene Paat and Pangs Panaga. And as you mentioned, siya nga ang dapat mag-stepmother in their matchup soon.
Well, so yun nga, nadaanan na rin natin kanina, no? I think if Mylene Paat could share the pressure and the load with Aya Laure, mas magiging magaan yung laro nila. And for Creamline naman, itong ang si Panaga has been picking up her game. Kasi I think what sets Creamline apart, during nung nandito pa sila syempre yung zero tempo middle attack sila. But now, kailangan magparamdam ulit ng gitna nila. And that's what had been happening on the side of Creamline with Panaga, really stepping up in their previous matches. So now, ito na yung all-important period for them. Kailangan mas maramdaman pa siya.
All right, let's move over to the Signal HD Spikers versus Choco Mucho. You got Jel Cayuna and Madi Madayag.
Well, ito naman, dahil nga nakita natin na blocking din yung isa sa mga strengths ng Signal over Choco Mucho, kailangan mataas yung kumpiyansa ng mga middles din ito ni Jel Cayuna throughout the game so they could play to their advantage. And of course, more than the blocking skills of her teammates, it's really how they get to contribute in that game. So, kailangan talaga very balanced yung scoring, especially because ang ganda ng matchup nitong mga middles dito sa dalawang teams ito. I mean, Doria Meneses versus Madayag and Nunag. And you also have BDL on the bench, Agunsanya, na nagkaroon din sila ng opportunities mag-shine recently in their past games. So, I think in this matchup, middles din yung magiging okay and how Jel Cayuna would utilize the rest of her spikers.
Definitely an interesting team matchup happening in the semifinal series. Tita Mels, one question. Sino kaya ang magkakaroon ng breakthrough game in this series? Let's talk about between Signal and Choco first.
Well, I'm looking at, syempre, nasa momentum talaga yung Choco Mucho.
Right.
But yung Signal kasi may winning culture na din eh. And gusto ko makita kung makabawi ba sila kasi may mga kanya-kanyang hugot na rin. So.
How about for the Creamline versus Cherry Tigo matchup?
Well, of course, everyone's also rooting for, the dark horse dahil nga si Creamline, not among the 11 teams na nakalaban nilang nakatalo sa kanila. So, it would make the rest of the league more exciting kung may mga ganong eksena. Diba?
Okay, grabe. Very exciting things happening this Thursday, starting with the Signal HD Spikers versus Choco Mucho match. Well, thank you so much, Tita Mels, and see you soon. Back to you, Pao.
All right, Tita Mela, Auntie Z, maraming salamat. We're not done with Tita Mela just yet because when we return, we'll talk MVPs in the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back to the game. We've talked all about game day intensity. Now it's time to look at the stat leaders and see who are in the running for this conference's MVP. Still here to discuss our MVP frontrunners is volleyball analyst Mela Tunay. Pao, take it away.
Thank you very much, Z, Tita Mela. I think we're going to stick with that. Taking a look at the MVP contenders here, we're going to go through it one at a time. Then, of course, talk about yung impact nila on the court and, of course, off it. Unahan natin dito si Cici Rondina. Because Cici in particular, it feels like from Conference 1 to Conference 2, the improvement, I guess, the comfort factor, ibang level na yun. Just what makes Cici different this conference?
Well, sabi nga nung ibang tao, no, parang si Cici daw yung reason kung bakit umangat yung Choco Mucho. But I think it's not just because of her skills. I truly believe na Cici Rondina is really a culture changer. And even if you ask the players, kasi syempre, one person, di naman siya yung buhat talaga lahat na 50 points siya in a game or whatever. I mean, with her improvement, with her contribution sa team, you could see the others, they're really stepping up as well. I mean, everyone had been consistent for them, and even the people coming off the bench, like Caitlin Viray, even si Regina Arocha had been producing points, and yung mga medals nila kahit sino ipasok. So basically, it's not just one person, but she is a true leader sa kanilang team. And with all her experience, winning traditions, winning culture, I think that's the biggest contribution she had sa Choco Mucho, because ever since we've seen the lineup of Choco Mucho, sobrang strong on paper. But when Cici got there, mas na-maximize yung mga strengths nila as a team. And I think her, partnering with Coach Dante, changing the culture in the culture and the system in Choco Mucho, it really brought out the best out from everyone. And syempre, apart from that, yung stats niya rin, she's second in scoring. Pero I mean, going up against tough PVL teams, I mean, si Aya, di ba? In scoring, pagka nabantayan ka na, if you're really a marked player, napakahirap na din mag-produce. But I guess with Cici, that's why she manages to stay on top of her game. It's because kalat yung load, but at the same time, lahat high efficiency. I mean, you see Madayag scoring 18 and up. Diba?
Pero sa palagay mo ba, is this also because they are now more familiar with Cici compared to previous conferences?
Well, I think yung adjustment period lang din niya as a whole. Kasi sa Cici, nakita naman natin her as a player, di naman siya nahirapan mag-adjust. And I think any team she plays for, that's a common feedback about her na hindi siya mahirap katrabaho. So I think her adjusting to the system, it wasn't as hard, but it's them as a team adjusting to the everything new that was introduced to them. Kasi syempre Coach Dante, this year lang din naman pumasok, and it takes a while to really master the right things, yung mga aayusin nila, to unlearn some things. So I think it's just a matter of timing also for all of them to come together and finish on a high note this conference.
I-mention mo na kanina si Aya Laure. So we're gonna talk about Aya here. And she is someone na, well, na-mention mo kanina yung winning culture, winning tradition. This is a person who knows how to win. But what would it take for her to win sa level na to? Given, grabe, individually speaking, ibang klase na.
Guys, we need a stepmother for Aya. I'm so frustrated. Well, kasi nakita na natin how much she could explode with, her talent. Pero, I mean, if she's the only person na talagang, kasi, syempre, the teams, they really scout. So, if maging bad yung passing ng team nila, everyone knows who they're gonna go to kasi, syempre, porsyento yung tinatawag sa volleyball. But we need to cut some of the attention off from Aya for her to be as consistent. Kasi syempre, at the end of the day, rookie pa din siya, di ba? Yung load na dinideal with niya. I mean, sometimes it would get to her, and itong mga back-to-back losses nila, nakikita natin na it's really getting to her. So, we really need a stepmother, guys, para makita na ulit natin itong mga ganitong numbers.
Alam mo, if we poke more on this, I have a feeling we're gonna go on and on. But let's move on. Itong si Gemma Galanza is up next. Now, individually speaking, sa mga numero na to, not necessarily the top of the crop, but still, the way that, I guess, yung impact niya on the floor, iba talaga.
I mean, there were conferences, na talagang Eliza, Gemma, MG, and Tots, they were all on the top of all the departments, ganyan. Pero yun nga, yung binanggit ko rin kay Ate Z kanina, na it's really a team thing now. And actually, the numbers of Gemma, hindi mo siya mapapansin kasi ngayon syempre yung trend napaka-talented na ng mga PVL players, 15 and up, 18 and up, parang hindi na yan bago. Pero I guess what sets Gemma apart is the consistency. I mean, out from their 11 games, 9 doon double-digit scorer siya, and there were a lot of times na she landed double-double, triple-double. So, yung consistency niya being an all-around player, it's really a big help to Creamline kasi ang daming power spikers dyan, pero yung kayang mag-contain at syempre nakaka-demoralize din dun sa power spikers ng kabila kapag constantly you're very good in containing their spikes. And you know, in their last game, ganun ngayon nangyari. Kasi it was a Gemma show din. Dahil syempre sila Eliza, they were on the bench for quite some time in their last matchup. So, si Gemma talagang nako-contain niya yung mga sila Paat, sila Aya. So, it's really a big help for the Creamline Goal Smashers.
All right, so moving on, itong si Savvy Davison. Looking at the numbers here, consistent all across the board. In fact, #1 in scoring. And I think it's safe to say, a great pickup para sa PLDT.
Definitely, and I think she landed first from their last game lang when they really you know, they had a five-set win, and they really made sure they were gonna exit the conference on a high note as well, winning against the Petrogas Angels and being the 5th-ranked team among the 12. Especially, this is our biggest PVL conference with 12 teams. So, being the top scorer, ang daming players na naglaro, di ba?
Yeah.
It's really, you know, a big milestone for Savvy Davison on her first PVL conference. And she's also the lone player na hindi nakasama sa semis, who's also an MVP frontrunner. So it goes to show about the dedication and the commitment she had, you know, playing her first conference for the PLDT high-speed hitters, and she really earned that go-to player no, ng PLDT, especially dahil yun din yung kulang ng high-speed hitters in the past conferences. Laging may na-injure or alam mo yun, it's really an inconsistent pool of open for them dahil puro nga siya ni-shift, but now I guess they found their gem in Savvy Davison.
Yeah, you know, si Davison, obviously, great addition, and hopefully onwards and upwards from here, and let's see how far they can go with PLDT next time. Mela, maraming salamat. I'm not gonna end it calling you Tita. That's Z's thing. But of course, with that, maraming salamat. And Z, you can take it away.
All right, thank you, Tita Mels and Pao. Catch Game 3 of the UAAP Men's Basketball Finals between LaSalle and UP right after our show on the Filipinas Live app. Thank you for joining us. I'm Z Herbacio.
Hindi po coincidence na naka-green po ako. I'm Paolo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.